Okay, it's time for the first of our 3 touring car races today. We'll have rounds 5 and 6 live later on. But time for round 4 that took place this morning. Commentary from Tim Harvey and John Hindhoff.
It's round 4 of the High-Q NSA British Touring Car Championship here at Rockingham, just under 2 miles around the configuration that we're using today. And it's the first pole position of the season for Team Halfords and Gordon Shedden in his Honda Civic. Alongside him, Matt Neal is starting his 350th race in the British Touring Car Championship. That's his best start since he went back to Vauxhall. Adam Jones, another best start for him, just his 46th race in that Seat Leon. Look at that, on the inside of row number 2. Alongside him, the birthday boy, Darren Turner, in his Seat. Then it's Jason Plato and Tom Onslow Cole. Behind them, Colin Turkington and Tom Chilton. Matt Jackson didn't get the qualifying he was hoping for, a little bit damp for the BMWs, and championship leader Fabrizio Giovanardi down in 10th position. Then it's Jordan and Kane on the next row back. Stephen Jelly has dashed back from GP2 in Asia to be with Matt Allison on the next row. Andrew Jordan and Rob Collard are the next back. Then it's Harry Volkard in the Chevrolet with John George in the Integra, Jason Hughes and Martin Bell, Urquhart and Alan Taylor, and right at the back, Stuart Oliver with Chris Stockton. See if we can have a quick word with Colin Turkington in the best of the BMWs. Hello Colin, it's John here up in the commentary booth. Best of the BMWs, you're going to get the start?
Yeah, that's the plan, John. You know, I've got quite a good starting position here, you know, in 7th, and you know, I really think my car is quicker than 7th. So yeah, I'm going to try and jump a few guys off the line.
Now it's getting a bit dark behind us. Any worries about the weather, and can you do a tyre change, and have you been practicing?
Yeah, we practiced yesterday. You know, you can probably see better than I can what's coming, but you know, it's better if it stays dry, I think, for everybody.
Good luck for the race, Colin.
Well, it's a fascinating prospect. There is spots of rain. If the race starts now, there won't be a red flag unless there's an accident. They will have to come in and change pit stops. And don't forget, the front-running Super 2000 cars have 5 stud wheels. Mike Jordan in his BTCC car has a single stud wheel. So if we do see pit changes, it's advantage to them.
Green flag at the back of the grid. Gordon Shedden is the man on the front row in the Halford Civic. Up goes the revs. Any creeping? Oh, a little bit of creeping maybe from row 2 from Jones, and Shedden gets the start. Matt Neal has to defend straight away as Jones gets a good one. And our man down the inside in the BMW, Turkington, not bad either. Down through turn number 1. It's a great start for the pole man.
Yeah, and a good start from Turkington all the way around the inside, underneath the white line. He's holding down 4th place as they get into the first corner. Let's hope they all get round.
Round the outside, Darren Turner having a little look as well in the BMW. There he is with the red shade banded. He's got a great start up into 2nd place already. The torque of that diesel engine already making its presence felt, and off goes Plato.
Well held Plato, bit of right foot to bring the front end round. It didn't work out for Turkington. He got muscled out wide, but as you say, great start for Adam Jones, although sliding up the inside back into the 2nd place looks like Matt Neal.
What a start though by Shedden. He's got away. Turner is in 2nd. Matt Neal. Oh, indeed, that's Michael Doyle in the Intune Honda. He's gone off very early on. It hasn't hampered the start, as I say, by Shedden, who got an absolute flyer. Now have a look a little bit further back down. Battle for 5th position. And once again, Matt Jackson's right in the mix there in the BMW. He's got a reasonable start there.
Yeah, remember these guys only had 1 warm-up lap. It's quite a short lap, and it's very cold at the moment, so it's going to take a little while to get some tyre temperature up.
Colin Turkington is looking the man most likely at the moment, but now he's under pressure as well, and he's having a look at his mirrors. He was trying to have a go at Jackson there, coming up the club straight. Everyone taking a variety of lines onto the start-finish line. Side by side, Onslow, Cole and Turkington across the line right in front of us. Jelly making up ground as well, and Plato's been shuffled all the way back down to 11th position.
Onslow Cole's had a great first lap, hasn't he? And following through is Giovanardi. In fact, Onslow Cole has shown some good pace this weekend. He's really getting to grips with that Vectra. Of course, it had to be rebuilt after his big Brands Hatch shunt.
And Giovanardi going through on Turkington there, as we were watching on that onboard camera, into the infield section again, and the two Vauxhalls now beginning to hook up with Neil and Giovanardi together. Onslow Cole rather, and Giovanardi together.
Yeah, Matt Jackson up to a good 6th place, and him and Turkington the battle of the BMWs, and certainly there's some real bragging rights between them. And Jackson, who was quickest here in testing, really felt he should have had a better... Oh! That's one of the from Collard in the motorbase car. Again, the BMW's just trying to get some temperature up into their tyres, but Jackson really on a charge. He thought he had a pole lap in him yesterday, and it didn't come off. He felt he needed one more lap, but mind you, he had a few drivers said that.
Now, feel a bit sorry for Rob Collard. There he is, spearing off to the driver's right. He's, I think he was an innocent bystander on that, got a little tap as he was coming through that left-hander.
Yeah, just heard on Colin Turkington's radio, his steering's a bit squiffy. Left hand down, he was saying, I just caught that. That means he's had a little rub with somebody, possibly at that first corner. So his tracking is out on the front.
Matt Neal with the fastest lap. No, Onslow Cole with the fastest lap. So underlining what Tim Harvey was saying there, as the leaders are coming together down into Dean Hairpin. Big lock up by Gordon Shedden. And Darren Turner will be loving this. That's giving him an opportunity. But look at Matt Neal there in 3rd position. Then a bit of a gap back to Jones. Now this is on board with Colin Turkington at the start.
Yeah, on board with Turkington. Oh, right into the back of Matt Jackson. They won't like that. He's still on there. Don't forget he got muscled out on the corner before. He's still trying to find some room. There isn't any room there. That BMW is a bit strong. Well prepared by the Jackson Motorsport team. This is the final chicane. Look how big those curves are on the inside. Jackson lost a little bit there on the exit.
No wonder his steering's a bit squiffy after that. Shedden still leads, but the battle now is on for second with Darren Turner in the Seat with the green front there. Now coming under pressure from Matt Neal in 3rd position. Matt Neal coming back to Vauxhall, of course, this year, and he's almost side by side there, but Turner alive to that and gets across. Got to really be careful where you plan to overtake here, Tim.
Yeah, now let's watch this. If we can stay on board, let's see how the turbo diesel Seat goes on this start-finish straight. This is the fastest part. It's the strongest part for the car. In both this speed trap and one of the other speed tracks, the Seats were by far the fastest. And look at it go. He's leaving Matt Neal, and that Vauxhall has a strong engine. Look at the difference.
I tell you what, though, Shedden's quick in a straight line as well, because he's not really gaining on him till about now.
Yeah, it's the end of the straight where he catches him, but you're right, that Neil Brown powered engine is really going well.
And another big lob up by Gordon Shedden. That left front is taking a hammering there, going into the left-hander at Dean.
Well, that's the other thing. On this infield section, the turbo diesel Leon really does work his tyres a bit harder, and that's where it'll come under pressure later in the race. And indeed, you'll probably see Matt Neal close up in this infield section and then lose a little bit again on the straight.
Geordie Janace, race engineer from World Touring Car, in the Seat pit this weekend, helping out the Seat UK boys. They're telling us 30 kilograms is a disadvantage over that front axle for having that diesel. Now that, I'm afraid, is bad news for the yellow mirrors. So that's the Dart car. Was now looking backwards from the leader Gordon Shedden to 2nd place Turner. Darren Turner has a big lump of Vauxhall in his mirrors at the moment. But look how close he is at the end of this lap, Tim, and again he's putting himself in the best possible position.
Yeah, he's going to get the drive of that car, gets good torque off the corner. The initial acceleration difference there is just Shedden getting on the throttle quicker, but now it starts to pull in, and he's in the slipstream as well. So look at him, he's on him now. Shedden's going to have to defend. Shedden's going to have to defend the inside.
Down the inside, he's had a little look. No, Shedden's gone really defensive there, and this is playing into Matt Neal's hands, because the leading two certainly slowing each other up there into Dean, and Matt's holding on to them when clearly he hasn't got the quickest car in a straight line.
Yeah, absolutely, but this is the strongest showing by Matt Neal since he went back to Vauxhall. He didn't have the best of meetings at Brands, and he's certainly keen to get back on top of his champion teammate Giovanardi. This is on board with Neil as we go around these series of 3 left-hand bends. Very hard on the right front tyre on the front-wheel drive cars. It just goes on and on and on.
And Shedden again has just got a little bit of breathing room. He's 2 cars ahead of us now, riding with Matt Neal. Darren Turner in between. Watch how he sets the car up. He's braking a little bit later there. You can see he's not got quite as much weight, of course, as the car ahead of him. That diesel does have a little bit of a weight penalty. Now coming round to the end of the lap again, and let's just see the relative performance of these cars again as they come out onto the oval, just at the exit of Speedway Turn 4, and then that long run down to the hairpin at Dean.
Yeah, again, Turner trying to get a good exit. He's not quite as close this time as he was before, and Matt Neal certainly losing out on that final section, the Tarzan hairpin section. You could see the car pushing out a little bit wider, and this is quite early, only on lap 6 or 16.
Across the line go the leaders. Behind this battling trio, it's Jones, Onslow, Cole, Giovanardi, Jackson, Chilton, Plato, Kane, and Jelly's past Turkington, so that dodgy front end that Turkington was reporting earlier on clearly now costing him a little bit of pace as the leading trio show no intent on letting up on this battle. There's Adam Jones in a rather lonely 4th position, and the rest of the cars going through. Not the best of races from Jason Plato, but at least he got it back on the black stuff early on after that little shunt. Matt Allison there leading the next bunch of cars. That's down in 13th position. Matt in the Chevrolet Lachetti, working hard with the RML guys this weekend, who are close by down in Wellingborough, hoping for some improvements in the performance of that car.
Yeah, don't forget that Giovanardi, he may be sick, but don't forget the top 5 guys in the championship come into qualifying in this first race carrying ballast. So Giovanardi has to carry maximum ballast. He will shed some of that at this rate. He could shed all of it if he doesn't finish in the top 5 for the next race. So he's actually just where he wants to be. This is how he built his championship last year.
And that's a key point, isn't it? How to work the system, how to work the regulations. You don't have to win every race, but you've got to get good points and put yourself in the best position by the end of the day.
That's very true. He will... Well, let's get down to Janie. We've got Andrew Jordan in the pits. We saw him retire earlier. Let's hear what the problem is.
Andrew, obviously this isn't what you're expecting. You were fired up yesterday. What has happened?
From the first lap, it's jumping out of 5th gear, so as soon as you put it into 5th, it jumped straight back to 4th, and then there was a bit of contact at the first corner, and I just got edged onto the grass a little bit, and I dropped it on my own, to be honest, as well. So, but it's frustrating with the first lap, first flying lap. As soon as it went into 5th, it jumped back into 4th. So it's best to come in and park it before it does any more damage to the gearbox, really. But it's a bit frustrating.
But this is something you can fix ready for the next race.
Yeah, it just puts us, starting at the back of the grid's a bit of a pain, but it's, that sort of things happen. You got to get over and look forward to the next one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Matt Allison there in 12th position. Turkington behind. There's the father this weekend.
Yeah, he's just passed. He's just got past Turkington. Look, so Turkington really falling back now. He's now back to 13th or 14th with that steering problem.
Yeah, 28.7 last time around for him. That's better part of 3 seconds off the last lap of the leader, Gordon Shedden, in that Civic.
Yeah, still the fastest lap held by Onslow Cole, set on lap 2, which you would expect with the deterioration in tyres that this circuit produces, unless, of course, the BMWs get up to speed. And don't forget, Matt Jackson, who's the lead BMW in this race, he's carrying the 2nd place in the championship balance, so he's struggling along with 36 kilos, and ironically, he is running behind Giovanardi, 6th and 7th. They'll shed all of that weight if it continues for the next race. Expect to see them fly.
Frantic work on the suspension of that car in qualifying in practice yesterday. It wasn't really the best conditions for the BMWs yesterday, was it, with a little bit of dampness in the air?
No, it did dry by the end, and in fact the lap time, the pole time, was quick time, but it was a case of did they have enough time to get their best lap in.
Through comes the field. There is that battle with Giovanardi in 6th position. Jackson just behind him in the white and blue BMW. Behind Jackson is Tom Chilton in the Civic. There he is, just settling down in the middle part of the race. Most dangerous to say that, of course, because things tend to kick off. Shedden's still ahead by just over half a second at the moment from Turner and Neal, who've got their own little battle going on.
Yeah, but I think Shedden's got himself into that rhythm now. He's resisted that early challenge from Darren Turner. He hasn't got to defend his lines down into the first corner. He's got enough of a gap that he can drive his own line, and I think he'll get into his rhythm, and I probably expect the battle of the race to be for 2nd place between Turner and Neal.
And there is that battle for 2nd place. Turner, Neal, Jones another 1.3 seconds further back. We're looking back from Shedden's car, and that is exceptionally strong across the start-finish line through turn 1. not even a lift off the throttle in these dry conditions, but look at the threatening crowds in the clouds in the background. And again, just a little lock-up as they come down into Dean. Very easy to do that there, it's quite bumpy.
Well, the reason for the lock-up, it's actually coming off the left rear wheel. Because the road is cambered quite heavily there, and the brakes are very much on the front, the inside wheel, because the camber is virtually off the ground at the rear, so it just kisses the ground, and the front-wheel drive cars, you'll see them locking up that left rear. It's not a drama, though.
This is a great performance from Darren Turner in second position. Didn't have the best of events at Brands Hatch a couple of weeks ago, but he's up there on merit and on pace at the moment.
Yeah, let's not forget that Seat were slightly embarrassed, shall we say, to have their two factory turbo diesel Leons out-qualified by Adam Jones with a privateer petrol engine car. And let's not take anything away from Adam Jones. He's still running a very strong fourth place with good pace.
Adam, whose background is in sports cars, he's taken to this shorter form of racing very well indeed. And he's thoroughly enjoying being back in the British Touring Car Championship. Had a little dabble in it a few years ago in the Class B situation, you might remember. Now, Chilton with Plato right up his exhaust pipes. Here's an interesting battle, and again, we see two of the strongest cars in a straight line, the Honda Civic and the turbo diesel Seat.
Yeah, Chilton very focused on his racing this year. He really loves this Halford Civic, and feels it suits his style, and he actually had a good result here last year. He loves this place, but he's under pressure from Plato. He's going to have to defend. It's very easy to outbrake yourself here when you come into sharp. Oh! Well held again. Plato practicing all his car control skills there.
Plato, king of the drifters in this first race here at Rockingham. That's twice he's been completely sideways. Just loss of concentration there?
No, it's just getting out wide. If you get a little bit too deep on the brakes, you find yourself off the ideal line, which is the grippy line, and it just runs. If you watch here, you'll find probably he's just outbraked himself a little bit too wide. He's off where all the other braking marks are, and the track's just that little bit deep, dirty there, and it's just allowed the back of the car to slide.
We are still getting one or two spots of rain, but not enough to affect the car's drivers, and no one's scrambling yet for those deeply treaded, grooved, wet tyres as Shedden leads from Turner. This is the battle for 1, 2, 3 and 4. There's Adam Jones just in the background, and Adam Jones is closing in a little bit. He made up a 10th or so on Neil at last time around. This is a great run from him, and he's still got those guys almost within touching distance, and he'll be pushing as hard as he can in this last third of the race.
Yeah, he certainly will. He knows how to keep pace himself and look after the car. His endurance racing exploits have taught him that. But he absolutely loves this GR Run Asia prepared car. It was a brand new car, brand new shell. They had to change engines before qualifying yesterday, but absolutely flying.
Well, he's had some great teammates to learn from in the past, people like Lucas Luhr and Sasha Masson. And he's taken all of that skill. Don't forget he was a French single-seater champion as well, Adam Jones, in that Seat there. So he knows a little bit about racecraft.
Definitely a little bit of drizzle about, I think. There's lap times perhaps just slipping away a little bit, but could be some psychological rain, as we call it. A bit of damp on the screen.
Just does take your attention a little bit as a driver. Now this is second place, on board with the TDI Seat, and yes, you can see Tim's spot on. Just a little drop of rain firing up the windscreen there. They've got the preparation. You'll see them hopefully not using their wipers. The guys will have been using the rain repellent on that windscreen as much as possible.
Yeah, they try not to put the wipers on unless absolutely necessary. There is a streaky substance you put on the screen to allow the water to bead up and run off, and just allow the wind pressure to do that. But that's not enough rain to really affect the grip.
Just listen to the engine.
Sorry?
Exactly. And I was talking to Darren yesterday, and he was saying it is actually quite amazing how much he misses the sound of the engine to help with his gear change.
Now there's a waft of rain. I can see there's a waft of rain coming over. Start watching for people missing their braking points. As I said it, there goes Matt Neal. I could see the rain coming. It's swart. There's a lot of rain down at that part of the circuit. It's come. The wind has changed direction, and the rain is coming from that side of the track. They're coming back towards the drier part of it. Across the start-finish line is where it's driest, but that section very damp. Wipers on now as well.
And remember, these cars are running absolutely slick tyres. There's no grooves in them, so there's nothing to move the water. They work very well when they're up to temperature. Lots of contact on the racetrack, when there's water underneath, it's basically like driving on ice.
Yeah, now remember, 4.5 laps to go. They won't stop this race unless it becomes too dangerous or cars crash or something like that. So these guys are really going to have to carry on or risk a pit stop.
Surely a little bit too late for a pit stop now. You just want to try and hang it out.
Well, you really want to hang it out. You know, every common sense tells you, you know, if you come in now, you could lose everything, but the conditions could get a lot worse.
Bad for the BMWs as well, the rear-wheel drive cars, as we saw at Brands Hatch in the first rounds of the championship. They really don't like it damp.
No, they don't, but it doesn't seem, nobody seems to have told Matt Jackson that. He is absolutely flying. I mean, he's behind 3 Vauxhalls and really pressing Giovanardi hard across the start-finish line. There it is, again, down to the wettest part of the track. Round the outside, that's Onslow Cole and Neil.
Onslow Cole and Neil's teammates together. Now this is where Neil went off, don't forget, but he's got it right this time. He's got the black shade band on the top of the car on the left as we're looking at it in the number 4 car. He's held on to that. Behind them, Giovanardi, Jackson, Chilton, Plato and Kane in the top 10.
Yeah, this is Neil on going side by side with Onslow Cole. Never mind the damp weather, that's still 130 miles an hour through there, so very, very brave.
Yes, that's a big deep breath there, isn't it? Shedden, will remind you, leads by just over a second from Turner, who's a couple of seconds ahead of Jones now. Adam Jones in a podium position and, of course, leading the independents.
Yeah, here we go. This is about between John George, Hughes, and... Oh, Hughes has gone straight on. And Jones, John George has gone straight on. And that could be Turkington picking up a few bonus places.
Now here is our leader, Gordon Shedden, from pole position. Coming onto the start-finish line, you can see that's the first 3, all in shots together.
And I can see more rain. They can't see it yet, but they're going to go through this turn 1. Look, you can see it. Now this corner, I can't tell you how difficult this corner is in a front-wheel drive car on slicks when it's starting to rain, because it's not a corner you slow down and speed up through in a traditional way. You sit in that corner, it's an oval, and it's really frightening.
Yellow flags now at Dean, and that should mean there's someone... and there we are. It was Michael Doyle coming back on the circuit. He'd outbreathed himself right in front of the leaders.
Yeah, and it looked like Neil running wide again. Now, this is not psychological rain. This is definitely test your metal rain. This is ultimate car control.
Now look at the weather. You can see it's only though half of the circuit. Again, we're on board with Darren Turner in second place, and you can quite clearly see the difference in the rain from one side of the circuit to the other. Or in fact, now it's starting to get heavy again here, Tim.
Yeah, it's now getting heavy all round the circuit. I mean, the pace has dropped off by sort of 3-4 seconds, and I still think they're doing well to do that. But I do worry about this first corner. You know, it's actually very heavy now. It's raining heavy on the start-finish line. The guys are coming round. They've got a couple more corners to go. This is getting really treacherous now, and I'm very worried about the first corner.
Well, the leaders are into the last chicane now. There's Shedden. Turner has definitely slowed down a lot. His pace has dropped right off. Alan Taylor's just gone through in front of us. Right. Jones in third. He's pushing really hard.
Hold your breath. Shedden's the first one into the first corner. Here he goes. Here he goes. It's front-wheel drive, short wheelbase car. He's got through there, Darren Turner's got through there, Jones has got through there. So, thank goodness for that. So far, the leaders all got through.
Matt Neal's through, and behind him, Onslow Cole and Giovanardi's 2 Vauxhall teammates. Jackson's through as well.
These guys will be frantically in the front-wheel drive cars, winding their brake bias towards the rear to take some of the pressure off the front tyres, which will obviously lock up easier with the minimum grip conditions.
Now Giovanardi and Onslow Cole getting to it as well. Giovanardi in the number 1 car, second of those 2 red and white cars there, with Matt Jackson looking to pick up any pieces from the big table if it all goes wrong. Oh, Onslow Cole's fighting rather too hard against his teammate there.
Yeah, but that was a great demonstration of where the grip is here at Rockingham. The grip is on the outside of the track. Now, Onslow Cole was forced wide, but actually ended up finding more grip. Oh, he's been hit by Jackson, but he saved it.
Tremendous stuff again by Tom Onslow Cole, buried his right foot there to straighten the car back up.
And here comes Chilton as well, trying to gain a little bit. Oh, Chilton's gone sideways, he saved it.
Well, this is treacherous out there now, and this is why we tell you that these drivers are the best in the business. They're earning every penny at the moment. Slick tyres, damp track now, almost wet in some places. You can see the wipers are going, and this is really difficult. It's like driving on a completely slick floor with completely bald tyres.
One more lap to go after this, so they'll be very, very pleased to see the checkered flag here when it comes through. Once more time, the rain has eased off just a little, so the conditions the same as last lap.
Matt Neal challenging for third position there, Tim. Look at that as he comes up on Jones. Jones has had to lift, and it seems to me as though Matt Neal's got his head round these conditions. Remember, he overshot here. He's learned a lot from that, and he's going back up into third.
Well, that was pure bravery by Matt Neal round turn one. He kept it maybe not flat, but he certainly kept more speed up, and the momentum took it up. But Jones is fighting back now. We're coming into the infield section. Jones wants that podium.
Alan Taylor behind is already a lap back, so watch out for Giovanardi coming through in 5th position. I think Matt Neal's realised he can push probably a little bit harder than anyone else. These Vauxhalls are going very well in these transitional conditions.
Yeah, I think the slightly longer wheelbase perhaps and the geometry of the Vectra makes it very suitable for the wet, and certainly Matt's bravery is helping him there. The slightly shorter wheelbase Leon, I believe, is potentially a little bit twitchier, and in fact if you watch, Matt Neal is actually catching up with Darren Turner. Only a couple of corners to go, but he's closing hand over fist, and there it is.
He needs a couple of more laps, I think, and he'd have been right on terms with Gordon Shedden. He's heading off towards the checkered flag. There he is, and look at this battle for second place. This is not all over by any stretch of the imagination. They've got the tight chicane onto the start-finish line. Shedden's going to go through and claim the victory. But look at Neal, he's closing in. Turner must know he's there.
Yeah, but Turner's got it. He just needed to not make a mistake in the chicane. But a great victory by Shedden. From pole, lights to flag. Excellent drive by Shedden. Second is Turner. Third is Neal. Fourth, unfortunately, is Jones, just missing out on the podium. Giovanardi and Jackson come through in 5th and 6th.
Onslow Cole in 7th, Chilton, Plato and Kane making up the top 10. Now, John George has got Colin Turkington behind. That gives you the idea of the trials and tribulations that poor Colin has had in this race. Remember, had a little bit of a ding earlier on that put his steering out of kilter.
I believe this is for 15th place, but Turkington not giving up, trying to get the power down earlier on the inside. But George has got a strong engine in that Honda, and I'm sure he'll get to the line first. He does.
And it was indeed for 15th and 16th. Gordon Shedden then, the man from north of the border, the 2000 Fiesta champion, adds another victory to his 8 wins already in the British Touring Car Championship, and he will not have one more dominating in nature than that. The archetypal lights to flag victory.
Well, the weather just held off enough. At one point I thought we were going to get a deluge. In fact, it is raining harder now, but it just held off enough for them to finish the race safely. But at one point it was very touch and go, and full credit to all the drivers for in the large part keeping it on the island.
A win for Gordon Shedden for Team Halfords from pole position. Darren Turner celebrates his birthday with a 2nd position. A fighting 3rd from Matt Neal, had been up there, threw it away, and then fought back in the terrible weather conditions at the end of the race, just easing out Adam Jones for 4th position. Giovanardi gets good points, fighting his way up to 5th ahead of Matt Jackson in 6th. Then it's Onslow Cole, Chilton, Plato and Kane for the top 10.
Yes, in tricky conditions in the closing laps, Gordon Shedden makes it look easy. And Janie will be with him and Darren Turner in just a few minutes' time. So Flash Gordon wins the first race of the day at Rockingham, and in some style, holding it together on slicks as the rain fell on the track. So how did he do it? Let's go down to Janie in the pits.
Congratulations, Gordon. That's your first win this season. Must feel very good.
It's good to get off the board and get a win without any shadow of a doubt. You know, to qualify in pole yesterday was great, and you know, looked up at the sky, you know, sitting on the grid, and I thought, oh, you sod, you're going to rain and make this really interesting. And you know, especially when you're the lead car, when it starts to rain, you're the one that looks really silly if you drive off the road in the conditions. So you've got to be, you know, very, very cautious and careful, just to make sure that you're absolutely kind of on it all the time. And it's probably more tricky to drive going that slow in those conditions than it is to drive the cars flat out in the dry. You've got to pay so much attention to just keep the car on the roads. But fantastic for everybody at Team Halfords, and obviously dedicating this one to David Leslie and Richard Lloyd and the others that died in that tragic accident a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, this one's for David.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you in race 2 today. Moving on then, second place, Darren. Now, you had very tricky qualifying, right down in the 20th until the very final few moments, so you must be pleased to get this podium today.
Yeah, really pleased. I mean, obviously qualifying wasn't exactly to plan, but we still managed to salvage 4th on the grid, and we've been away, we've done a bit of start practice, so for me, which is the starts are always my bad point, I was quite pleased to even stay with the pack, so I was delighted to be on the run down to the first corner, being in contention. Everyone went to the left, I went to the right where there's some grip, and went round the outside, and luckily, normally in those cases you can get fired off, but luckily no one tapped me and got into second. Early part of the race, tried to challenge Gordon as much as I could, but as the race went on, he sort of got a bit more pace and just sort of settled in second. But Matt Neal at the end was very strong, and I was another lap, and I'm sure we would have, we could have been quite exciting the last lap if it was one more lap, but thankfully we held it out to the end, and for Say it's a great start with the diesel engine, so we're looking forward to race 2 now.
Okay, best of luck for round 5.
Thanks.
Well, Darren Turner, a happy boy, and deservedly so. I'm joined with our commentator, Tim Harvey. Good move, actually. Good race for Turner, getting up there from 4th on the grid.
An excellent race. I mean, it all went wrong for him here last year, as the whole of his season did with bad luck. He was on pole last year and the car fluffed on the line. He never got going. He put in a great race this time, and I think Sayat were probably relieved as well to not be beaten by the petrol-powered Independent.
Yeah, they'll be happy about that. So what about the star of the race for you? Gordon Shedden, great start, and then holding his nerve through the difficult conditions.
I mean, Gordon has stepped up to lead this team now, and he gets off the line perfectly. The tyres were quite cold. He led it, held the car down, resisted in a few laps' time a challenge from Darren Turner, but he's now leading that team very strongly, and he's coming into the championship reckoning as well.
Takes some nerve, though, to hold it around the banking when you could be off into the concrete wall in the rain.
Well, the drivers know it's flat out in the dry, but I had my heart in my mouth when the weather conditions changed. I could see from the commentary box the rain coming in, and that corner is like no other corner in England. It's flat out, not in the wet, but you sit in the corner for a long time, and if the conditions have got wet and you're on slick tyres in a front-wheel drive car, the car can swap ends on you in an instant.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens in the second race of the day. Thank you very much, Tim. It's a double bill of touring cars for our first couple of races here on ITV4, so let's join Janie on the grid.
Yeah, well, do you know what? The weather's been pretty tricky all weekend, but look up now, we've got blue sky and sunshine, and I have to say it's a little bit cold, but maybe it's going to be a bit scorchy for this team. Paul, I'd like to talk to you about Adam Jones, because obviously it's been a very strange weekend for you. You had to change your engine at the last minute, and then he got the most amazing 4th place, and his highest before that was the 7th, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had quite an eventful weekend. We actually qualified 3rd, which was really, really good after a really fraught morning. We had to change an engine, just a slight technical problem, more of a precaution than anything else. And Adam rewarded the team with a good 3rd position on the grid, and he managed to turn that into 4th place in the first race.
And of course the car is still quite new for Adam anyway, you're still developing it. For you, you know the car inside out.
I wouldn't say inside out, we didn't build it. The car is built by Seat Sport in Spain, the factory team. But we know the car inside out because we run them in the World Championship. But Adam's still learning the car.
Okay, thank you very much. See if we can run up to Jason Plato. Do you know what? I've got to tell you guys, it's so funny. Yesterday he said to me, I like it when the weather's really changeable. Tricky conditions, that's where I've got an advantage. So I just want to find out where that advantage was, because he looked like he had a bit of a mare in that last race. Let's see if I can sneak through. Jason, I was just telling the guys at home yesterday, you said you like tricky conditions. What happened?
I think what it felt like at the start was, I got a reasonably decent start, but then coming into turn 3, I just lost the back of the car, and I wasn't sure if I got tagged or not. I actually don't think I did. I just think I lost the back of the car. And for the first couple laps, the setup we had on there was very, very tail happy, very oversteery. And I think we tried something on the car. It didn't work. Got to hold my hands up. That was my kind of error, trying to push the team. Say, come on, let's try and make some progress, because one of the areas we need to improve is our front grip. So we made some changes to the car. Let's see what happens here. Just one of those days at the moment, but we're going to change it now.
Thank you very much, Jason. Well, we have got round 5 for you live after the break, so don't go anywhere. See you in a second.
Welcome back live to the Rockingham Motor Speedway. It's bright, it's dry for now at least. The drivers are keyed up for race 2 of the day, as are our commentators. So we'll rejoin John Hindhoff and Tim Harvey.
Thanks very much, Ted. Well, I think we've got a drive for this one. Everyone's on slick tyres. It's all stations go again for Gordon Shedden from the front of the grid, Tim, but a very different car for him with the weight on this time.
Yep, 45 kilos now in Shedden's car that he didn't have in the first place. Giovanardi, by comparison, loses just under 40 kilos.
Let's see if everyone gets off the line. Matt Neal just got onto the grid in time. A gearbox change between the 2 races. He does. That's good news for the Vauxhall Vectra and the VXR team. Mike Jordan possibly still in the pits. We haven't seen him out there. No, he's not on the grid. 2, 3, right at the back. He's just made it round to the back of the grid. He's just being pushed out by people power.
That's actually young Andrew who's at the back there. Then Mike is coming out of the pit lane, so he will have to start from the end of the pit lane on cold tyres after the end of this lap.
So the grid for round 4 of the IQ MSA British Touring Car Championship set on the finishing positions from the last race. And on the front row, it's Gordon Shedden who shares with Darren Turner. Honda Civic versus Seat Leon TDI. On row 2, Matt Neal for Vauxhall with the petrol-powered Seat Leon of Adam Jones. What a result from him in the last race. Then Giovanardi and Matt Jackson make up row number 3. Matt Jackson will be looking for one of his trademark rocket starts. Row 4, Tom Onslow Cole for Vauxhall against the Civic of Tom Chilton. Jason Plato is on the inside of row number 5 alongside Stephen Kane in the Motorbase BMW. Then on row 6, it's Stephen Jelly with Matt Allison. That's BMW versus Chevrolet. Row 7, Rob Collard and Jason Hughes. Another BMW versus the venerable MG ZF. But remember, a new car on the way for Team KWR. Row number 8, John George and Colin Turkington. Turkington hoping for no repeat of the problems in that first race. Row 9, Urquhart and Martin Bell. And row number 10, Stuart Oliver and Michael Doyle. Behind them, it's Alan Taylor. Mike Jordan won't be there on row 11. He'll start from the pit lane. Row number 12 is Harry Volkard and Andrew Jordan. See if we can have a quick word with Colin Turkington. See if he has a fixed car this time. Colin Turkington, John Hindhoff in the commentary box. Colin, what was your problem last race around and more to the point, have you got it fixed?
Yeah, it's fixed, John. Just the first lap, I got hit in the right rear and damage to the suspension, so yeah, I was just limping around really, waiting for people to fall off, so there's nothing I could do, but yeah, I'm fixed now and ready to go again.
That's a shame, because you had a cracking start. Same again this time?
Yeah, that's the plan, yeah.
Thanks, Colin. Good luck as he pulls up onto his starting grid. We know those BMWs are very quick off the line.
Yeah, well, Giovanardi's proved he can win races with the ballast. Can Shedden do the same? But the fast cars for me are going to be Giovanardi, Jackson and Turkington. Watch them fly.
Well, I've got a little suspicion that Matt Neal's problems, if he can get over them, won't slow him down too much. Watch him from the start. And, of course, Darren Turner's on the outside of the front row in that TDI. Oh, a little bit of creeping there from Matt Neal. I wonder if the clutch just gave up on him there. And it is Turner who gets a great start, as does Matt Jackson from row 3. He's coming alongside the challenge very early on. And it looks like Turner's got a good start as well as Matt Neal on the inside. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 wide as they come down into the first corner, and Turner's gone through.
Turner's gone through. Giovanardi's past Matt Neal. Jackson round the outside, may get collected. We'll have to watch. He's going all the way around like Turkington in the first one, but brilliant start by Turner.
Well, he's celebrating his birthday in style, second in the first race, and he's already up into the lead. Looks like Giovanardi in second place. Yes, it is. The red shade band on that Vauxhall telling us it's the number 1 car. Just look at Shedden, he's dropped back in the clutches already of that white BMW of Matt Jackson.
Well, Giovanardi, I said watch out for him. He started on the 3rd row and he absolutely flew. Bit of side-by-side action there. That's Matt Allison diving up the inside of John George, I think it is.
Once again, Jason Plato hasn't got the best of starts. He was mired in the midfield. He got pushed wide in that first corner. There he is, down in 8th, 9th position.
Yeah, but up front, then side by side again. Turner defending the inside. Giovanardi cutting across the front of Shedden. Jackson with Turkington, another good start. So the quick ones are up there. Oh, again. Well, Turner has the inside for this final chicane. I'm sure that Matt Neal was creeping on the line though, so we'll have to wait and see if he gets a penalty. Safety car's out.
Safety car is rolling right in front of us. Now, of course, off goes Stephen Kane there, gets a little bit of a helping nudge in the chicane area. Turner sees the waved yellow flags and will be lifting off. Side by side, Turkington and Collard on the line. He'll have to lift off.
Yeah, one of the Lexus is off at, in the gravel trap. I'm not sure if it's Stuart Oliver or Chris Stockers. I think it's Oliver. Oliver's off. There he is. He's beached it there. He'll need a tow out because he's definitely in a dangerous position. But I think we're going to get a chance to see the start again, because certainly Jackson, Giovanardi, and Turkington had absolutely blinding first laps, as of course did Darren Turner, to get the lead.
So the race is neutralised. These laps behind the safety car will add the first 3 on, and then we'll go racing again as soon as possible. But let's go back to the start and see if we can have just a little look at what happened at the beginning. And we're going back to the overhead shot now. Just watch this Seat from the outside of the front row.
Yeah, the cars get away very evenly, apart from Jackson and Giovanardi, who have got momentum. Look, they've got the momentum. The Seat doesn't build momentum until they're after this first corner. That's on board Neil. Watch Giovanardi come off on his right-hand side. There he is, all the way past. That's momentum, and Jackson as well. And Shedden doesn't see the Leon coming up the inside early enough. And whoa! Actually, Darren Turner moved back across a little bit, and it's Stephen Jelly, not Turkington, that gets that fantastic start. Well done, Stephen Jelly. He was off racing GP2 Asia in Dubai until Friday night, and came back on the plane and literally got here 8 minutes before first practice. So Jelly is proving to be very adaptable.
Yeah, and he's actually shot up there into 5th position. And look, here's Adam Jones making sure that his form in the first race, when he claimed 4th position, wasn't just a flash in the pan. He had a little challenge there as well on Matt Neal. Matt Neal's feeling a bit hard done by at this stage.
Well, the trouble is that, I mean, he probably felt he was creeping. This is on board Turkington. He was further back. He's gone to the inside, had to dive around the outside of Matt Allison. Still has good momentum.
He stayed right underneath the white line there, and that's a dangerous thing to do, because he's trying to come out. This is Colin Turkington having a look round the outside. He's going to go the long way here,
He's
Tim.
got no choice. Look, Plato was up the back of Chilton. Plato was riding up the back wheel, and that could have damaged the front suspension on the Leon there. And Plato could be in for another difficult race.
In fact, Plato's just come into the pit lane right in front of us. So from that replay, and there he is in the pit lane. So there is some worry about damage to Jason Plato's Seat Leon TDI.
Well, I don't know if he's going to drop a lap or not. Don't forget, if they've just changed the front tyre, he may well be able to get out and get back onto the.
He's out.
He's on
out.
the back of it. It just looked to me, when I looked at the car, it looked like the car was crabbing going around the corner there, but it could have just been an optical illusion. But he should be able to get on the back without losing a lap, and they probably just changed a puncture. Well, Janie's in the pits. Let's get some news from her.
Yeah, I've just been speaking to the team. Apparently, they just want to check out some damage to the car. It seems to be okay, but after he had a slight knock with somebody on the track, just wanted to come in, check it out, and then he's back out, so it looks like everything's okay.
Well, some great on-board action there down into the first corner. We saw it all. The safety car giving us opportunity to see all the action, and it was certainly really banging and boring. Darren Turner, the complete opposite of Jason Plato so far this meeting, with everything working well.
And Plato's really leaning on this Seat Leon as he's trying to get back on the back of the crocodile of cars that's behind the safety car. There's going to be at least one more lap of yellow, and he's clearly pushing hard to see if this car is straight.
Well, two things. A, wants to get a feel for the car, but also he was probably very worried that the safety car would go in that lap and he would have a big gap to make up. As it is, he's got time to catch up, although the safety car lights are now out and they will restart at the end of this lap. The other person in problem was Andrew Jordan. He's been in the pit lane as well. So although Mike started from the back of the pit lane, and son Andrew's been in for a pit stop, so he's coming in again. So it's obviously a little bit more difficult. I think the team's struggling now to run two cars equally. It's very difficult.
And that was transmission problems as well. Don't forget, the last time around, in comes Andrew Jordan. And, well, he's not going to, if he's not very quick, he's not going to be able to get out without losing a lap, and that really is a nightmare. Oh, the bonnet's coming up. Oh dear.
Well, Jordan, he's 1 lap down anyway, so I don't think, I think he's going to be on a testing mission if he can get anything in this session. Otherwise, they're going to have to just get the car in the garage and start work on it.
Right, there is the leader. That is Darren Turner. He's looking cool, calm and collected. He's a good sports car driver, Le Mans winner in class, of course, with Aston Martin, so he knows all about restarts, and he'll be controlling the field from the moment that the Porsche safety car pulls off. There's, oh dear, there's Andrew. Not a great day for him. 2 races, 2 non-finishers.
Yeah, well, let's see how Turner controls this restart. I think he will go straight away as soon as they come through the chicane. The safety car's peeling off, and I think he'll be on it straight away.
Just look at Shedden in 3rd place. He was right up the rear bumper of Giovanardi.
He's not. He's backing them up. He's backing them up. He hasn't gone yet. He's waiting for the lights to change. Now he goes.
And he uses the torque of the Seat Leon TDI to pull away 1, 2, 3 cars, then straight away from Giovanardi, who's under pressure from Shedden, Jackson, Jelly Jones and Onslow Cole. The next car's around, but look at the gap that the leader has pulled out, and Darren Turner's done exactly the right thing, but he's had to brake a little bit early. Down the inside comes Shedden, but he's not close enough to beat the pass.
No, again, it's very close. I mean, it was a good tactic of his to use that extra power on the straight to get away, but it did mean that everyone else bunched up, and here's the result. Adam Jones looking up the inside.
Yeah, Onslow Cole was right there as well, having a little sniff, but it's Giovanardi at the moment. Gio having a little look at the back of the leader, and he's now got that Vauxhall rolling nicely. Now this is Colin Turkington in 10th position, looking at the back at Chilton.
Yeah, look at that mark on the back of Chilton's car. That's where Jason Plato ran up the back of him into the first corner on the first start. That's the tyre mark on the back of Chilton's car.
Down the inside, this is the slowest corner, down to Tarzan. Leaders are already, oh look at this, side-by-side action down the club straight. And Shedden now has got real problems because he's got Jackson up his inside, and Jackson's gone through to 3rd.
Yeah, good move by Jackson. And I mean, I did fancy these two at the start of this race. They're carrying a lot less weight now. They're both very quick round here, and really Darren Turner's really got his work cut out here. He's carrying 36 kilos, don't forget.
Giovanardi in 2nd now has to deal with the rear-wheel drive of that white BMW in 3rd position. Remember, those 2 cars, Giovanardi and Jackson, have come through from row 3. You can overtake. New race distance, we've extended out to 19 laps with that safety car. Look at this down the inside, further back, almost contact there. That's Onslow Cole having a little look, and he's just about got it through.
Yeah, Stephen Jelly gave him plenty of room there, and perhaps some of the other Vauxhall drivers might not have been so generous, but he gave him plenty of room. He hasn't damaged his car. He's still in 6th place, and Jelly going well, but just maybe struggling in these earlier laps just to get the car, the tyres up to temperature. The more experienced touring car guys, Matt Jackson in particular, and obviously Turkington as well, they can get on it when the tyres are a little bit colder. But Jelly made a brilliant start, but he's still running in 6th place, but under pressure from Adam Jones.
8th position, Matt Neal looking backwards to Tom Chilton in 9th position, and you can see that bright orange Honda. Watch him close up on the brakes down into Tarzan. This is the right-hander, and look at Chilton just hanging out a little bit, trying to get the power on a bit earlier.
Yeah, well, guess who's got the fastest lap? It's Jason Plato on the last lap, so nothing wrong with his car. He set the fastest lap, but he's mired down in 19th place.
He's only 9 seconds away from the leader, though, and another safety car period would really help him, as the leaders are absolutely together onto the oval, looking back from the leader now to Giovanardi in 2nd.
Yeah, Giovanardi was right on the bumper of the Leon there coming onto the straight, but the Leon is still able to pull away. I'm sure Giovanardi will pull a little bit back on the brakes. The other deficit problem with the Leon is that because it's a bit heavier, it's not quite as good on the brakes.
A little bit of a lock up from that left rear. We've seen that before. Remember, Tim was telling us about the way the track falls away on the left-hand side. Don't read too much into that. I'm impressed with Jackson. He's just biding his time at the moment in that BMW in 3rd position.
Yeah, these are crafty old campaigners. They're waiting for the Leon to just work its tyres. It's hard on the tyres anyway, plus it's got 36 kilos on. They know they're light. They're just waiting for a few laps time, and it'll just get harder and harder to get it around these corners.
Shedden hasn't been dropped either, Tim. You know, he's got a heavy car, starting as he did from pole position with 45 kilos on it, but he's still right on the back of this leading trio.
Yeah, well, I genuinely believe that the cars behind are probably quicker than Turner. And look, he's having to defend there, which is then making him slow, and everybody else is going to catch up. So I think that Darren is starting to hold everybody up here, and things are going to kick off.
And just look at Onslow Cole, he's trying to go side by side with Shedden, can't get that one done. Now look how close they are here as they come out onto the oval. Touch, little love tap there as they came out, but watch Turner with that TDI torque, just pull away, there he goes.
Well, actual fact, that Giovanardi touched him too early in the corner, in actual fact gave him a little push forward and slowed up his momentum. So that's probably, now he's coming under pressure from Jackson as a result of that.
Down towards the braking area for the Dean hairpin. Watch out for the BMW slipping out of the slipstream. There it is in third position, and look, he's now close right up again. I love the fact what we've got here, Tim, is different cars with different strengths and weaknesses, and the ebb and flow of this racing.
Well, we've got a turbo diesel leading a petrol engine car, leading a rear-wheel drive car, so we've got all the variations running nose to tail.
Yes, and just look at everyone planning and scheming. Watch how Giovanardi is moving around in the mirrors of Darren Turner, but Darren's used to this pressure. They could not be any closer than this. I just wonder how much more of this he can stand. And Giovanardi has a little look. No, he's not close enough.
Well, this is where the Leon is struggling. You'll see Darren defend heavily into Tarzan corner here. He's really struggling, but he knows that as long as he doesn't run wide, he can come out of the corner and use the power. Jackson trying to get on the outside. Giovanardi does traditionally stick very much to the left coming out there. He's middle of the road, but he's not going to allow Jackson a sniff of the inside. And Giovanardi is mighty on the brakes.
He's doing a great job as Gio in second place, because he's got, in some ways, the hardest job. He's defending and attacking at the same time.
Which is why I think that he won't wait too long, and if there's an opportunity, he may well have a go at Darren Turner. But Darren's doing a fantastic job. It's really great to see him out there leading and having a year that he so thoroughly deserves. His pace has never been in doubt.
Top five are getting away just a little bit from Stephen Jelly, who's in sixth, then Neil, Chilton, Jones, Turkington for the rest of the top 10. And again, that left rear wheel is locking up on the lead seat. Don't worry about that. And again, here comes Matt Jackson, and he's starting to get a little bit racy as well.
Yeah, there's, I saw, this is on board with Shedden, following Jackson. He was the winner of the first race, and he's hanging on to the back of this group, courtesy, if you may say, of Darren Turner just holding everyone a little bit.
Yes, that's the leading three from fourth place. Gordon Shedden, winner of race one. Listen to him revving that petrol engine. Just listen to the difference when we go on board with one of the diesel cars like Turner. You will hear a completely different engine noise and far fewer revs. Now down towards Tarzan. This is where Giovanardi's looking strong. Look how far across to the right-hand side of the road the leader Darren Turner is. He really went defensive very early.
Yeah, but there's absolutely no way that Giovanardi can overtake on these short straights, because however slowly Turner goes through the corner, as long as he doesn't run wide or get hit, he can always out-accelerate the car down the next little straight.
Onslow Cole is playing a canny little race as well in fifth position. That's the second of the two red and white Vauxhall Vectras. There he is at the back of this group, and he's starting to move around now. I think he feels that he perhaps is a little bit quicker than that Civic ahead of him. Now, this time, probably the biggest gap we've seen for a wee while, with Turner again using the torque, the low-down pulling power of that turbo diesel to make a little bit of room. Again, we see that lock up, but don't worry about that. Down into Dean again, and they'll concertina back together for the infield section through the next right-hander at Yenwood.
Yeah, this has got the makings of incident written all over it at some point. And you know, Tom Onslow Cole is probably sitting there thinking, well, I've got no one behind me. I can only gain places here if there's some action in front. So he's in a good spot at the moment. But just to report on Plato's progress, you saw him at the back of your screen there. He's now up to 14th place.
Yeah, and the next man on his hit list will be Jason Hughes in the MG. Side by side, Turkington and Kane Noe.
Yeah, that was Turkington in the West Surrey racing car. Oh, I think Turner's run wide. I've just seen it out the commentary box. If we can get back to the front, we'll show it to you. But I can tell you, Turner has gone back to third place.
So let's see exactly how that happened. Down through the gearbox. Look at this. This is the new battle for the lead, and this is, of course, Giovanardi now with Matt Jackson, who slipped through into second place. And look at Turner really having to defend now against Gordon Shedden in a new battle for third, fourth and fifth with himself. with Shedden and with Onslow Cole. And look at Jelly. Jelly's almost on terms with them as well.
Yeah, this again, great racing. Oh, well, hopefully we can see how he lost the lead. Was there some contact from Giovanardi just to nudge him wide and slip through on the inside? Because it is so hard to pass a car that's always quicker than you on the straight. And maybe it required a little bit of forceful driving.
A little bit of persuasion, perhaps. There's the two leaders then. Giovanardi from Jackson, Turner back down into third position. Shedden in fourth.
Oh, Giovanardi's gone wide! Fantastic opportunity to drive by Jackson. Wow, you so rarely you see Giovanardi make a mistake like that. Has he got a problem, or did he just run wide? That corner, Yentov, I think it is a corner that you tend to understeer on. And Gio maybe just went in a bit too quick. He seems to be up to speed, so I think he just went in a bit too quick and ran out wide, but Jackson was on him so quickly.
Tremendous opportunistic piece of overtaking by Matt Jackson, belying his lack of races in the Touring Car Championship. He took that like a veteran. Meantime, Onslow Cole and Shedden are side by side at Tarzan. New leader then. Jackson has just gone past Giovanardi. Here's how Giovanardi got the lead.
Yes, coming up to the left-hander. Oh, a nose down the inside. There's a tiny bit of contact, maybe just there, and that's what cost him the extra place. But that was Giovanardi really putting it across the inside. Two wheels on the grass and two wheels on the inside of the track. Here we go, watch this. On the brakes, dives really, he doesn't hit Turner early, which is good driving.
Do think, I wonder if Darren had just backed out of that a little bit earlier, might have saved second place there, Tim.
Well, difficult to say, to be honest. I mean, he had to back out a little bit to stay on the track because he was then put out on the marbles. But opportunity for Jackson to claw some of those championship points back on Giovanardi. And isn't it amazing? These two guys who ended up after the first race at Brands, first and second in the championship, they've come into this meeting and they're slugging it out again. It's got that championship look about these two guys, hasn't it?
Yeah, we could be standing here at the end of the season watching a very similar shootout between the BMW and the Vauxhall. And how great would that be? Matt, of course, running in the Independence Championship as well. Let's just remind ourselves, although it's got BMW on the side of there, and he's got some help from BMW UK, this is a family-run effort, and that is just terrific.
It is. It's run by Tony Jackson, Matt Jackson and their team. I mistakenly said at Brands that they were getting a lot of help from the RBM team that they bought the car off, Andy Prio's team, but they're doing it very much on their own. And fair play to them and Accident Exchange for putting up the money so the family can do it.
Fourth place, Shedden having a look at back at third place, Darren Turner. Darren will be seething that he gave away that lead. He didn't look comfortable on the infield, but it looked like he had things pretty much tied down on this long run, and you'll see him just start to stretch away now. We know that the engine in that Civic is very, very good, but it's not going to be able to hold on with that extra weight that Gordon's carrying from winning the first race earlier on. Jackson, Giovanardi, they've gone through. Turner and Shedden, Onslow Cole in fifth, Jelly, Neil, Chilton, Jones, Turkington in the top 10, Plato now back up to 13th position.
Well, Giovanardi sat there, didn't he? And he knew that he wasn't going to be able to outbrake the Leon at the end of the straight because he was always going to be too far away. So he had to create an opportunity in the infield somewhere, and he certainly did that. But no sooner had he taken the lead than he lost it again to Matt Jackson.
Jelly and Neil have been having a good battle as well. That is for 6th and 7th position. There goes Turner in third. Fourth is Shedden. Onslow Cole there, the Vauxhall. Now this is the battle for the lead, and for my money, Tim, I think Jackson's been caught ever so slightly by Gio.
Yeah, at the moment he's got enough of a gap that he doesn't have to defend. He'll be trying desperately to hold his racing line and not defend, because as soon as you start to defend, then Gio's all over you in every corner.
Great battle with Jelly in 6th place, Jelly, Neil, Chilton and Jones just behind this gaggle, of course. There's the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th position, the RAC sponsored car. There it is. That's Stephen Jelly. Remember, up until the day before,
he's gone on.
He's gone on
straight on at the chicane, but still rejoined in front. Now, I don't know whether that was gaining an unfair advantage or not. I don't really think it was. He sort of had no choice, really.
I just think he's probably dirted his tyres as well. Let's have a look. There he goes. Oh, he just missed his turn.
He's wide into the first one. There was no way he could make it round the next part. So I think that one can pass.
And this is from onboard Matt Neil, exit stage right. Stephen Jelly, and welcome back.
Yeah, great line onto the straight though. I think I might try that in qualifying, get a few extra revs in onto the start-finish line.
Now I was saying that I thought Fabrizio Giovanardi was catching the leader, and
he's not now.
Looks like he's not now. He's just dropped away. No.
Giovanardi does have the fastest lap though. He said it some while ago on lap 6, so he took that extra point away from Jason Plato. This is on board with Neil for 6th place. He's in 6th place. Stephen Jelly just in front, driving a great race. Now Neil's looking up the inside where Giovanardi was very strong. Oh! Good driving by Jelly, not to shut the door completely, otherwise there'd have definitely been contact.
Now that's what we call racing room, isn't it? And that's really heads-up driving by both of those.
That's, dare I say, it's something David Coulthard needs to learn.
You may say that because you're the racing driver, Tim.
Well, you know, it's at the end of the day, in touring cars, you've got to give a little room, otherwise there'll be contact. And he had the inside for the next corner. Oh, now he's really got no choice.
Oh dear, and Matt Neal's turned around and through goes Turkington. He's the one who benefits. Jelly goes backwards a couple of positions. Adam Jones was in there as well. Architect of his own disaster.
Need to see that one again, really. It was sort of building, but I'll tell you what it has done, it's put Jason Plato onto the back. I don't think that move was really on there. I think the gap was going, but it was a decrease though, it just wasn't cleaning up the inside. Jelly very lucky not to spin. Remember, that's a rear-wheel drive car. Now look, there's Plato stuck into this gaggle, trying to gain some places. In front you've got Kane and Jelly, two more, the Motorbase BMW, the West Surrey BMW. Plato up the inside, he's going to gain another place.
Yeah, Kane and Jelly bashing wheels in the two BMWs, and Jason says, thanks very much, I'll just move up to 10th position. And remember, he was right at the back after that early pit stop. He did have the benefit of a bit of safety car, but he is flying at the moment.
Yeah, not sure. Stephen Kane's had some fabulous pace this weekend in the Motorbase car. Should have been 3rd on the grid, but doesn't appear to have that pace in the race now.
Yes, he was just a little bit light, and he got his times disqualified. Had to go out again at the end. Did a really good job actually to get any times at all. Now this is looking back from Darren Turner's Seat TDI, and watch just as the cars close in on him again. Shedden having another little look. This has been a race-long battle since DT dropped back, lost the lead, remember, down into 3rd place. Shedden, Onslow, Cole behind him in 4th and 5th.
They're on lap 16 of 19, and Jackson definitely has the advantage now. He's got a 1.5 second gap. His lap time's identical to Giovanardi. I think he's got it under control. It's going to be a case of, can Turner hold on to that 3rd place, and how far up can Plato get?
Now where is Jason Plato? There he is. Look at that, Plato up into 10th position. He's having a look to try and make up into 9th, and he's done it relatively easily.
Yeah, Jelly ran wide there, probably just outbraked himself a little bit, maybe looking in his mirrors to see what was happening behind, but just ran in a little bit too deep.
Looks like Stephen Kane's having a little nibble at the BMW Jelly ahead of him as well. Look at these two tied together. One or two little bits and pieces falling off Jason's car there. I think a bit of the under.
I think he ran over a splitter actually. I think he's just running over a splitter from something else. Don't think that came off his car, so no worry there.
Battle for 3rd position we're watching here. This is Turner, Shedden and Onslow.
Oh, he's locked up. He's locked up into Tarzan. He's really struggling now. The front tyres are just going off, and that not only compromises your corner speed, but it compromises your acceleration and your braking as well.
Just goes to prove as well as Plato's now in the shot, remember, in 9th position, and he's got a couple of seconds or maybe a second to catch up, but he's really trying hard. You've got to give Jace 10 out of 10 for charging back through the field. He's desperate to get some points out of this 2nd race here at Rockingham.
He is, and it's a great battle. It's great to see Plato on a charge, isn't it? I mean, you know, these guys are great sometimes at staying out of trouble when the championship's on the line. They're trying to score the points, but it's also great to see them charge through the back and see some quality driving, some quality overtaking.
Jackson leads from Giovanardi. It's just over 1.5 seconds. We're watching the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Turner, Shedden and Onslow Cole. 3 different makes of cars. One a diesel in 3rd position at the moment, and a diesel that seems to me to be struggling just a little bit for grip at the moment, Tim.
It is. This is where it gets hard for them. 2 laps to go at the end of this one, but Turner's still driving very well and still on for a podium.
Very, very smooth driving by Darren. He can't afford to throw the cars around. That's 2nd place. That's Giovanardi in rather elegant isolation at the moment. That's the gap back from the leader to him, down into Tarzan. A little bit of Team RAC bodywork down there, I think.
There's a lot of orange and yellow out there, to be honest, isn't there? But yeah, it's all about the driver inputs to the car in terms of making the car last. It's about how sharply you steer, how sharply you brake and accelerate. All that has a loading on the tyres, and it has a dependence on how long they last. Don't forget, they're all on exactly the same tyres. The front-wheel drive, the rear-wheel drive, the diesels, the petrol engines, they're all on the Dunlop control tyre, an excellent tyre that they've managed to get working on all the cars. A really, really good performance by Dunlop.
Now this is on board with Gordon Shedden, already a winner this weekend. Can he hold on to the back of that Seat going through turn 1? Not a hint of a lift there, by the way.
No, I mean 130 miles an hour, I've seen it on the data. That's what they're doing at the apex there. In the dry, not too bad. As the tyres start to go off, it becomes a little bit more tricky. But Darren is very keen to maximise the strengths of that car, and he's got to keep it flat on the fast bits.
Well, I've got to tell you that his performance has been impressive after he lost that place, that lead early on. Oh, that's Stephen Jelly who's lost it, down at the hairpin.
Well, there was contact there, possibly. He had Stephen Kane behind him. Is there some contact between them down there? Stephen Jelly had been running a little bit wide in that corner, but did Stephen stick it up the inside? We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Turner still under big pressure. Here we go, we're going to see just the end of Stephen Jelly. Oh, there was some contact there. Couldn't see the lines that the cars were on, but there's some damage on the front of Stevens. Here we go again, up behind, right behind, just on the second apex. Well, I think that was just one of those things where they were both carrying speed and he just ran into the back of him, really.
This is still the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th, with Turner, Shedden, Onslow, Cole and Turkington getting on the back of this as well. Plato still in 9th, he's got about a second and a half between himself and Adam Jones. But this is the battle for the final step on the podium.
Last lap, definitely Jackson, who has it all in hand. 1.5 seconds just over Giovanardi. Turner's now got a little gap for 3rd place because of Onslow, Cole and Shedden fighting it out.
Colin Turkington on the back of this group, coming down towards the braking area for Dean. He's trying to go the long way around. Can he get it fixed? I don't think he can. Turns it in, but now he'll do the old out and in, come back, and he's going to be alongside Onslow Cole as they come to Yentwood, but that's the wrong way as far as the BMW driver's
he's on the outside. He'll try and cut back, but I don't think he will. There's not enough room here. It's easy to shut the door. Onslow Cole's won races here before. He knows how to defend as well as attack.
Down through the triple left-hander, and again the Vauxhall just sliding a little bit wide. Can we get the BMW up the inside? We can't, but that is the BMW everyone's going to be talking about at the end of this race, as Matt Jackson continues his tremendous start of the season. He's got just over 1.5 seconds on Giovanardi in second. Here's the battle for the 3rd spot on the podium, and it's not over and done with by any stretch of the imagination. Turner's got to keep his concentration here. Look at that battle in the background as Onslow Cole has gone past Gordon Shedden. Meantime, the leaders have gone through. It's Jackson going to win it. Matt Jackson is going to win it in the BMW from row 3 of the grid. That's a phenomenal drive by the young man. Second is Giovanardi, also coming through from row 3, and Darren Turner will hang on. That is a great drive by Turner to hang on to a car that was going away from her at the end.
Yeah, excellent drive there, really good drive, lots of excitement in that race, some standout performances, but excellent job by Jackson.
Well, welcome back to Northamptonshire and to Rockingham. What a great race that was. 3 changes of lead, Shedden to Turner to Giovanardi, and finally to Matt Jackson, who wins the race in his BMW. Great result for him. Confirmation of the result then, Matt Jackson from Fabrizio Giovanardi, Darren Turner in 3rd, having pulled a very rude move on the 1st lap. Gordon Shedden, the winner of the 1st race, in 4th. Tom Onslow Cole and Colin Turkington round out the top 6. Let's take a look at the championship standings, and it's very close. Look at that, Fabrizio Giovanardi leads it, but only just 1 point from Matt Jackson in 2nd, and Gordon Shedden moves up to 3rd position. Well, here he is, the winner. Nice one. Just tell us about that moment when you took the lead.
Yeah, it was always going to be a difficult race around here. It's very hard on tyres and the cars are moving around a lot. And we just sort of sat there, bided our time, and Fabrizio made a mistake going into Yentwood, I think. And he locked up, went wide onto the grass, and we politely put it up the inside and got on with qualifying laps. And that was really where the race changed.
Very nice. And of course, we started the weekend 2 points behind in the championship. It seems like now you've won. A bit disappointed it's only 1 point and Giovanardi's still in front.
Well, yeah, Fabrizio had a good race this morning and he pipped us, so it gave him that advantage. But it's a long championship, you know. We're here at the moment, but there's a long way to go. And at the moment, it's racking up points. And you know, from experience in past championships, if you can take the points early, it makes the championship a lot easier at the end.
Okay, good stuff. Well, listen, Matt, as your prize, as well as the big cup you're going to get later, but your prize up here for winning that race is that you get to do the draw for the third race of the day. Here are the numbers you have to look out for as to who we're deciding for pole position. Number 6 is Colin Turkington, 7 is Tom Chilton, 8 is Adam Jones, 9 Jason Plato, and ball 10 will mean that Stephen Kane will be on pole position. Right, well, as you can see, Matt, we haven't spent any money on this at all. FA Cup style. Now listen, you can't see the balls, so I'd like you to look over there while you put your hand in and pick out, give them a little shake and pick out a number. It is number 8. So that's Adam Jones. There we go. Number 8, that's Adam Jones, just so you know we're not trying it on. Adam Jones in the Seat, who will be on pole position for race 3 of the day. Here's confirmation of the grid with John Hindhoff.